Welcome back to Nighthawk Gaming. Today we are having a look at Alone in the Dark, a Prologue. A bit of the granddaddy of survival horror games. The original Alone in the Dark, released on the PC way back in 1992. There's been a number of follow-ups, but it's been fairly, well, in the dark is probably the best way to put it. For the better part of 15 years. But there is a remake, a reimagining of it being released this year on the 25th of October. And as part of that, they've released a free prologue. So certainly on the Xbox, I haven't checked on the PlayStation yet, but it is coming out on the PlayStation 5. So but quite clearly got a bit to catch up on with the way that the, well, I suppose Resident Evil was the copycat originally, if you will, but has certainly surpassed it, especially in the last couple of years, with 7 and 8, and then the remakes of 2, 3 and 4. Right, so, I mean, graphically it doesn't look too bad. I wouldn't, given that it's a current gen only, so there's no PS4 or Xbox One version. It's only the Series X and S and the PlayStation 5. Be interesting to see. I mean, the character detail itself doesn't look... Okay, I've got a bit of clipping there. It's a bit hard to tell in the dark, but once we get a bit of light, hopefully we can see. Get a bit more of an idea. But the environment itself doesn't look too bad. Now, I will say, fairly early on off the bat, I did play the last Alone in the Dark game from the 2008, and it was pretty ordinary.
Oh goodness, you scared me.
What are you up to, Jeremy?
I have to tell someone what is going on here. I have to try. You're not one of them, are you? Please tell me, Grace. You're not a spy, are you?
Who's spy?
Them. The others. All of them. No, you're too innocent.
I'm too innocent.
I need to get this letter to my niece. She would understand.
Just give it to the clerk, Mr. Waits, and he'll post it.
No, he could be in on it. What if he won't post my letter?
Then don't make it look like it's one of yours. Here, let me do it. Miss Emily Hartwood, Dauphin Street, New Orleans. You don't have the number? I'm not sure the postman's gonna find it without... Jeremy? Where'd he go? I'll just post it myself then. I'll just take this letter downstairs to the clerk's office myself. Uh-oh, Cassandra. I'm touching your typewriter.
So surely that's not the that's not the save point. That'd be probably too close to the Resident Evil typewriter model.
They're so creepy.
Now,
Oh no, Jeremy, what have you done?
I do have to say, I mean, granted, the game itself doesn't come out for another 4.5 months, but certainly graphically, it's on first impressions a fairly. It's coming up fairly short of the mark on the Resident Evil games, I would have to say, especially the latest one, Resi 4. That it was a fantastic looking game. Waiting for that thing to go around, but it's a bit of a strange. Strange sort of button prompt, I'd say. It's not particularly a quick time event as such. And I can say it's almost lacking. Obviously you've got the sequences there that are designed to give you a bit of shock, bit of horror, etc. But I don't know whether it's just
I suppose this must pale in comparison to the foil.
because it just looks a touch off graphically, whether that atmosphere is not hitting the mark.
Oh, a night music. Mr. Waits, hello?
Last night I dreamt that my uncle hung himself in the attic, that we were too late. The house looked different, it was still called Derceto.
Definitely a weird place. Feels like I've been here before, I just can't think why.
Let's not waste any time, detective.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go get your uncle, Miss Harbour.
Well, that appears to be it, and that is, if that's the prologue, and that's the extent of the prologue, and we're just going to go back into it, and it looks like that's the case. And we're back to the start, so, wow. What do we get? Not even 10 minutes worth of gameplay for a prologue. Doesn't really set up a story, doesn't really set up a mood. As I said there, you might be able to get a bit more of the character model in some of the light, but it certainly, graphically, is as I mentioned during the video, just a bit of a step off. So I don't know what the point of this is, to be honest with you. I would have thought, you're not expecting hours and hours worth of gameplay in a prologue, but certainly, something more than 7 or 8 minutes worth. And when the vast majority of it was, cutscenes and non-interactable gaming. I would have thought half an hour, 45 minutes to give you a bit of a background story, give you a bit of base for it. But it's really, as I said, it's given you no story, it's given you no understanding of what's going on, given you no rundown. You can assume, based on the dress and all the rest of it, that it's set in the past at some point. How far back, I don't know, but certainly there's no indication of that. And it would appear to be set in the American South, and that's about all we get. But does this ultimately leave me sitting here saying I can't wait to jump into the full game? Certainly not. The download itself is more than 17 gig for a 10-minute glorified demo. Bizarre, I have to say. There's not much more I can say to it for that. So, look, if you enjoy this video, hopefully the commentary and not the content so much, because certainly it feels a bit short for me. If you can like and subscribe to the channel, it certainly does help. And if you've got any questions or queries about the game itself, jump into the comments and I'll get back to you with any further thoughts as they arise. But that'll do us. Thanks for joining Nighthawk Gaming, and that'll be it.